Something is seriously wrong at Apple. Not quietly, not subtly, blatantly. It's November 15th, and Apple has failed to release a new Apple TV, a new AirTag, or a new HomePod. What makes it worse is that this wasn't a surprise. This was supposed to be the month. Mark Gurman repeatedly signaled that Apple had products lined up for November. He mentioned stock levels dropping, he highlighted the HomePod mini running low, and in his Power On newsletter, he outright said Apple was preparing something for November 11th to 12th. Instead, we got a holiday sale banner. No hardware, no updates, no explanations, just silence. The Apple TV situation alone shows how poorly Apple is managing its smaller products. This device is still running an A15 chip, something that can scrape by today, but is absolutely incapable of supporting Apple Intelligence. Apple Intelligence demands an A17 Pro or baseline A18, but Apple hasn't even bothered to refresh the box. Apple updates iPhones, MacBooks, and iPads on autopilot every year. Yet, somehow, the Apple TV keeps getting ignored as if it's a forgotten accessory instead of a major part of the ecosystem. Gurman's leaks built up the expectation of a refresh, and Apple still didn't deliver. Now the next window is likely 2026, an absurd timeline for a device already behind. Then comes the AirTag, which is practically stuck in 2021. It still uses the U1 chip, while newer Apple devices are already on the more precise U2. Worse, the AirTag is associated with misuse, stalking, muted speakers, and hampered alerts. The speaker can be physically disabled, making the device less safe and easier to weaponize. A redesign could fix this, strengthen the alerts, and modernize the hardware, but Apple hasn't done anything. By early 2026, the AirTag will be 5 years old, and despite Mark Gurman repeatedly suggesting an update was on the way, Apple simply ignored it. And then the HomePod Mini, a product Apple appears to have forgotten exists. Released in 2020 and still running the ancient S5 chip from the Apple Watch Series 5, it's nowhere near capable of handling Apple Intelligence. Apple added new colors a while back and then effectively abandoned them. Gurman pointed out low inventory and hinted at an incoming refresh, but Apple once again did nothing. Considering that Apple is now trying to partner with companies like Google to support Apple Intelligence through Gemini, the lack of a hardware refresh looks even more careless. Realistically, early 2026 is now the only believable window for all three products. Expected pricing remains similar. Apple TV around $129 to $149, AirTag around $29 to $39, and HomePod Mini around $99. Whenever Apple finally decides these forgotten devices deserve attention.